Okay, and welcome back to the Dropout Dragon. Today we're going to be looking at Double Halberd, which is a setup that I like to use. It's got good jumping attacks, it's got good running attacks. It also looks kind of stylish, but let's be honest, it's not the best thing that you can run on an offhand halberd. The mainstay of a build like this, or not a build really, more of a setup, because a lot of you have, semi-quality builds or just pure strength builds or just, a little bit dex leaning, and you're switching out through a lot of different weapons that your friends drop for you or whichever. Maybe that's just my streamer privilege, but there are better setups to use as an offhand halberd. The mainstay is definitely the main hand halberd, which allows you to chase, and of course roll catch is if you're running against a mid-roller. If you're running against a light roller, well, you're in trouble. This guy is obviously running a fun build, and he's got himself what a what appears to be here's that pure strength I was talking about, but he definitely wants to go for trades. It's just not going to work out. So I wanted to use the L1 on him because you rarely see the just standing L1, which of course is not a simultaneous hitting weapon. It is just a swing. You can catch people in rolls with it, but your timing has to be a little bit weird, and it can be very distressing when you realize that they're just constantly rolling around you and you're just spending stamina for nothing. So you definitely want to be careful when you're doing that. I go ahead and I push myself back into this. This is footage that was from a couple of days ago, and I'm going back through it now, and I remember a little bit of it and figured I could talk over it. Shout out to the arena actually working. We can go ahead and talk about that really fast. It is nice that the arena is working. That's one of the very few good things that FromSoft has done in a while. So we're looking at it and living it and trying to love it as best we can. This guy, I'd normally give a little hay. I mean, the quick hay is something that I feel like, easy enough, but I'm not here to stand there and emote at you forever. I'm not. This is not a social club. It's a fight club. It's an arena. He goes for the running attack. He's playing a little bit. He's very Dark Souls 2-y. I'm not going to lie. The guy with this moon veil here, I did not get the roll catch there, which is unfortunate. I did sidestep that, which is surprising, but this man has no vigor. That is the truth. I sidestepped that as well, which is risky. I don't know his latency with me, but I go ahead and I grab that, and then he just eats this. I could have riposted him, but I was just like, no, I'm going to see if I can roll catch him, but I didn't need to because he was blocking with his weapon. That guy played Dark Souls 2. There's nothing I can... It's hard to say why, but I have a feeling that guy did play Dark Souls 2, and he's really enjoying that weapon art. But this is not Dark Souls 2, and you can't walk into it like that. You can't play it like Dark Souls 3 because microspacing is very difficult, and you're going to run into people with extremely high latency, and you're just going to feel it. Anything that's a thrusting weapon, like HTS or heavy thrusting swords, what that stands for, or even just thrusting swords, you're gonna start seeing some serious phantom on some people, and you just have to tell yourself, you know what, I shouldn't have spaced that. I should have just rolled. So definitely roll when you can. This guy using a paired straight sword, and I got to tell you, I'm still not good at fighting those. They definitely get to me. I'm gonna go ahead and just eat that right there and then trade it. He really wants to play the paired straight sword pressure, but unfortunately I was just quicker than he was, and I decided to just be in his face. And I'm sure he's used to people just constantly rolling away from him so he can get those catches in and keep that pressure up. And I didn't do it, and his brain just shut down. And that can happen. I've done it too. When I'm using paired straight swords, sometimes I just expect a opponent to respect me, and I didn't respect him, and so I just traded with him and walked away with a jumping attack. Which, as you can see, using two halberds like this is a simultaneous drop-down attack when you're doing a jumping attack, and that is a lot of damage. A lot of damage. I think I hit him for 800 something or 700 something, but he took a lot of fucking damage there. And I got to tell you, it's all about respect. And I'm not talking about respect as, I like you, you like me. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fighting respect. I'm talking about fighting game respect, respecting the distance between another player, respecting their damage, respecting their play. What are they going to do? And in this game, it seems as though if somebody doesn't respect your distance, they don't respect your damage, you're going to get hurt. Earlier there, he didn't respect mine, and I didn't really respect his. So I took that jumping attack there, thinking I'd trade with it. And in this game, trades they can be a very dangerous thing because it leaves you with less and less options as you're playing. He's going to go with that. I'm going to go for a little tricky quick step, back step. I don't like using quick step all that often, but that man made a mistake thinking that that would come out and stop me from a jumping attack. Jumping attacks are so much faster than you think they are. So if you're casting, God forbid, or you're throwing pyromancy or something, remember an opponent can kind of just jump attack into you, and it's kind of safe. Because as we were talking about in Steele's podcast while we were watching G9's video, recovery in this game is very fast, and people can get out of things that they may not be able to get out of in other games. And of course, the other games didn't have jumping attack, crouching attack. Well, they had rolling attack, but whichever. There was a lot more recovery in those games, whereas in this one, it just kind of seems, okay, I'm going to do a jumping attack and not be punished for it. Or I'm going to do a crouching attack and either trade or not be punished for it. And that is just the game at its present moment. And that man discovered that the hard way. We have a guy running fists, which could be very, very dangerous for me. Fists are very good, especially with frag blade. I've been doing that on stream for a while. I did get that rolling catch there. Not rolling catch, but catch him in his roll. I wanted you to pay attention there while I hit my cough button for a second, because I do smoke. That man threw that R2 out, and I took it, but I didn't really respect, again, his distance. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and trade with it. A good player would have kept hitting me with the heavy. If you're using fists right now in the same capacity that person is, throw out them heavies. If somebody's going to stare in your face like that, you're going to keep them from jumping, you're going to keep them on the ground, you're going to keep them from crouching to trade with you. You might even roll catch them, but it definitely resets everything to neutral when they realize, oh, I'm losing all of the poise that I had, and I'm losing the damage engagement. I'm losing that. That trade is not good for me. So you don't want to just stand in the face of fists. So in that regard, I made that mistake, but I knew he was really wanting to roll catch, so I just traded with him instead. It was kind of a rock, paper, scissors situation in that regard, and I kind of lucked out because against the experienced player, they would have understood fairly quickly that I was just not going to respect their damage, and they would have made me pay for that dearly. So we have another paired straight sword. That is pretty much how you engage with them, as you saw. I went for a single jump attack just to change up timings, even though they're not really all that different. But again, you don't know if a dude's just going to do another jumping attack like that. That dude just took 1,000 damage, and then he just took that. That's a big one. Boom. That side step, that's one of the reasons I was using quick step to begin with, was easy access to your back step attack, which I wish back steps were better, so you could use those attacks more often. But right there with that slow 1-2, that last little bit of it just clipped him right in the knee, and he felt that pretty bad, so that he went down for it. But that is another reason I was using quick step. Quick step at this moment allows you to get rid of so much of your recovery, and gives you access to movesets that you might not normally use. It is very strong. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like it all that much. I definitely don't like light rolls because they're free. Quick step doesn't give the distance that light rolls do, and people can call light rolls out. I'm sorry, not light rolls. They can call out quick steps, but they can't call out light rolls. And honestly, I really do feel as though light rolls are kind of ruining the arena right now. And quick step's not that far behind it, but at least you can account for it because its distance isn't as far as like Bloodhound step or light rolls. So I'm not a big fan of it. And that is also made known quite clearly on Steele's podcast. I am recording this kind of late. I went for another little trade there, and I think to myself, I don't know if I want to do that with a weapon like that. But boom, that roll catch. This man has no vigor, and he's going to pay for it. Boom. I'm sure on his side, he's thinking, that was a lot of phantom range, because I was thinking that was a lot of phantom range when I was looking at it. I was like, man, I'm not even sure that's going to hit. But two simultaneous weapons coming down at the same time. Boom, there's the attack. Boom, there's the hit. Boom, there's the damage, and there, your ego. Now you're going to feel bad about it and QQ as much as I do when you're back here at the statue. And she's just looking at you on the left there. She's like, oh, you're back again? Did you win? Are you winning? And the chances are you're probably not. You probably run into light rolling paired straight swords or light rolling one S stock with who also somehow brought his quick step and just is invincible for 10 years. You could run into that. But it could be difficult. This guy, he really wants to poise trade with the gut sword. His favorite anime is very clear to everybody. I kind of felt him out there. I could have attacked, but I decided, no, you know what? I'm going to see what it is that you do. And it turns out he just wants it. So I'll take that trade because the jumping attack is going to be better than his R1. It's definitely, even two-handed, it's going to be better than his R1. Jumping attack, I wouldn't want to do that. But I'll go ahead and get a little quick step in there. That quick step, whether it landed or not, just kind of let him know that I had it, and it makes him nervous. So he's just going to be thinking, I don't know if I like that. But there's another one of those attacks you rarely ever see, and it ends up working. I do get a roll catch there because he just waited so long to roll, and he paid for it. He might have even run out of stamina, and he was just smashing his roll until he got some, but that wasn't good. No crouch poking from him, no real pressure, just kind of staring at me, and that was a mistake. Don't do that when you're using a big strength weapon. Walking up in someone's face with that is not the play. You either want to do a jumping attack, or you want to crouch poke or crouch slam. You need a quick attack for an opener. You have to treat this sometimes like a real fighting game, even though it's not, because it definitely isn't. I'm not having that argument. But you have to treat it that way in order to get your technical pieces there and say, what's a good opener? What's a good catcher? What's a good mix-up? What's a good, you want to, those things do exist. So if you can treat them that way and say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to do the big, heavy, slow attack in their face. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit here about how fast I can be or how fast these attacks can be. You don't have to treat the strength weapons like strength weapons if you can just do a jump attack. You can do that. All right, so we got Halbert guy. He's thinking about it. This is one of those situations where if I see one Halbert like this, I probably should two-hand it myself just to equal out the playing field. But I've got the two of them, and I've got a little bit more range of that jumping attack. Right now I'm getting very greedy and making a little bit of a mistake there of thinking he's going to panic. He might not, and I'm going to look really stupid and spending stamina for nothing, as well as opening myself up. I do have quick step, which is keeping me from taking way more damage than I definitely deserve. I don't know what that was, and I'm not... I remember thinking in this moment, I don't remember him being behind me, so I just took what was given to me. I just took it. It was like, all right, you gave me your back because at some point I guess I gave you mine. I did clip him a little bit with the L1, which is also nice, and then right there the running. And then another hit. I don't know where that dude was on his side, but I bet you he disagrees with that hit. I bet you he does. But that's Elden Ring. I've been hit like that. You've been hit like that. He's been hit like that. And that's just something you got to get over sometimes because it's, I did the jumping and it has a football field's worth of phantom and it's just, there it is. It's over. So, a bit of news on my part. I've been a little bit stressed recently because I have to move. And I'm going to have my own office soon, as well as, a balcony of which to smoke. And I'm going to feel good about that. And I'm getting a big life improvement soon, but until that time comes, I am really stressed out. I'm trying to make these content pieces, and I'm trying to stream and deal with, the social aspect of everything without neglecting my whole world, because I have a tendency of doing that. Some of you who watched the last video probably know that that's true. That guy throws a little bit of a fire attack there. I'm not sure about the distance there, but I can tell you this guy's just not having a good time. Anyway, so yeah, I've been moving and I've been planning on how to pack boxes and move desks and things like that. So that can be a bit stressful. You got to call the power company, you got to call the internet company. Some people have to call water. I don't have to do that, and that's nice, but there's a whole world of issues when you're moving, and it's going to be difficult. So there's going to be a little bit of a blackout from me coming up. Maybe it could last a week, could be as short as 2 or 3 days. We don't know, but either way, I've been trying to get those streaming videos out, and I've been trying to get these little pieces recorded. I have a few of these on the backlog I got to talk over. This one's a little bit rushed. I won't lie, and a lot of that has to do with I recorded it, and then I got really busy that day and couldn't speak over it. You'd think I could take 18 minutes to do that, but apparently I couldn't. All right, so the moment I see veteran's armor, I get like PTSD, and I think to myself, uh-oh, this guy knows what he's doing. And then he uses gravitas, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting one. I do have a nasty tendency to jump attack at bad periods of time because it does like carry me. I don't know what that was, but that's just not going to work. I don't trust my stamina. It's one of the few times I was running low on it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to back up a little bit. I didn't really trust it, so instead of engaging, I just kind of let it go. That was a good call out on that jumping attack. I'm not even sure if he meant to do it, but that was pretty funny. Getting yelled out of the air, like, get down. Nobody wants you in the air, you big moron. I go for the roll catch, and it does work. You delay those rolling attacks from quick step, and it is very easy to get those. That timing there also works on double scythes, which I hopefully will be making a video about. And though they're not all that much different from the halberds, one good thing about scythes is the ability to just break anybody's poise, and that feels nice. So go ahead and grab another combatant here, and we'll see where we go. But yeah, if you guys have any questions down below, I mean, this build is the same one as the last one, so I mean, it's just kind of like strength leaning and then 60 vigor, and that's pretty much all you really need to know. 35 endurance, I think, like that. Yeah, it's 35 endurance, 54 strength. I'm almost certain it's 54 strength. So that's it. The rest of it's just whatever. And I think I'm running into a glitcher here. Yes, I remember. This is a guy who wants to use the Blood Flame glitch, which does actually kill me. I see him doing it, and I make a crucial error right here. I should have just did it again. I should have jumped attacked again, and I didn't, and instead I'm just eating shit from all the pressure of coming from that big blood coming, and then, of course, the piercing fang that I rolled badly, and I just die immediately. So there is a glitcher right there. He exists. You probably saw his name. You can block him if you want or whatever. But that is somebody who watched the IGN video, and he's like, wow, that's easy wins. Because it is. And it puts just an enormous amount of pressure on you to trade, because if you just run away from them the whole time, they're going to get to you, and they're going to slowly chip out your damage, and it's going to be a bad time for everybody involved. Especially if they're light rolling. Then you're really fucked. Or light rolling and or using quick step or bloodhound step, you're going to have a bad time. So I pretty much threw that one out the window. I was like, you know what, I can't do it. Ah, yes. I remember this man. He was incredible. I want you guys to look at these inputs this man is doing. His controller is a damn Geiger counter. Look at that. He's got inputs for days. Crouch, crouch, crouch. Animation glitch. Crouch, crouch, crouch. Crouch, crouch, crouch. He's going for it. Crouch there, and I'm thinking, man, I am definitely not with this guy on movement. His movement is far better than mine. However, I do call out that he's going to attack me, so I do that jumping attack. I'm super nervous. I'm like, look at that. And then he goes for a hard swap, possibly a soft swap. I didn't see it. I'm guessing hard swap by those inputs, because like I said, this dude sounds like a solo Smash tournament, because he got the inputs for days. He tried to do another crouch poke there, and I just said, no, I'm not playing that. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the air and let the jumping attacks carry me through this entire game. I was also lucky enough to catch him in that R1. That was good. He switches over to Halbert. He's RKR'd it, and damn, that's a lot of damage. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I need to throw out some attacks this dude doesn't know, like rolling attacks. But then a magic pixel. Can Dragon do it? I have the magic pixel. You guys keep looking. He could have kept fan daggering and it would have worked, but there's that mysterious phantom range. There it is. I bet that looked bad on his screen. I checked my HP immediately. 7 HP left out of that whole affair. He could have fan daggered me some more, and that would have been it. And you know what? I wouldn't have blamed him for it, because it could be a scary kind of game. But he decided to man it out and hit me one last time, and then that magic range that came in. Oh my goodness, I'd be upset if I was in his shoes. But we've all felt it. We all know that Elden Ring's netcode is not up to as much snuff as other PvP games are. But man, that must have pissed him off. He might have broken his controller, because I don't break controllers, but I definitely put them down after something like that happens to me. And the force in which I do so might be a little bit more than, needed. So, we're gonna look at this guy. He's got a much more fun setup. He's coming at me with the Zwai. We all love the Zwai, and I'll be coming out with a video soon that has the Zwai included into it. Kind of an off meta thing. That was a good hit on his part, but that jump attack there, I went for it. Could have done a wake up. I decided not to. I really don't know why. I don't have an answer for that. I just, whatever. But now I've got so much HP advantage, I'm okay with trading. Not okay with that. That one hurts. But there it is. Boom. Does that hitbox look like it hit him? No, but that's just how the hitboxes work in Elden Ring, so he's just eating shit. A lot of the jumping attacks from the Halberds and sometimes the scythes are just a little bit wonky looking, because you clearly didn't hit them, and then they just get hit, and it's a bad time for everybody. So, oh well. GG, we're all living it. I'm living it as much as you guys are living it, and we're just trying to take advantage of the mechanics at play. And there are those who will tell you, veterans like myself who've been playing these games, you just got to work around the latency. Even if it looks weird or feels weird, you got to work around it. You just have to say to yourself, we take those. We take those, we take those, we take those. That's all you can say. And know that the other guy says we take those when it happens to you. We have what appears to be a double moon veiler, which is that's some patch 1.02 stuff. So I'm ready to see that. He's running a lot. I'm not sure he knows how to engage. He's just kind of looking at me, and then he just eats that. I don't know what that was, but okay. So I'll take the hit. I could have traded there, and I take that hit too. I've noticed, I've noticed a lot in my gameplay. When I fight an opponent who doesn't really know what they're doing, I kind of don't respect their play, and so I play badly by getting in their face or not rolling on time, and I don't know. It's like they infect me with the brain dead, and then I just kind of get stupid too, and I feel like I really need to stop doing that because that takes too much time to feel out an opponent to make that decision. And by that point, I could have already taken a really bad jumping attack. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I need to stop and say to myself, there are in the other games I could kind of mess around with somebody a little bit. And there's the stats, by the way, on if you guys are interested. I think the video is going to pause here, but I need to decide in Elden Ring the damage output that everybody can do. You just don't have a lot of time to mess around, so don't do that. Don't look at people. Don't just walk into their face because you think they're bad. The damage, I mean, you saw that there. That dude did more damage to me than some of the other people who were playing because I walked into it not respecting his ability. And that's a mistake, and I shouldn't do that. But thank you guys for watching. This has been the Double Halberds. Just some roll catches. Just get in there with the jumping attacks. Roll catch some people. Feel good about yourself. They weigh not all that much and do a lot of damage. You can also play a little bit more aggressive than I do. You could do a lot of running attacks. Be wary of jumping attacks. They will hit you if you constantly run that. But yeah, those are double halberds. Go in, have fun, enjoy your phantom range, and yeah, see you guys next time.